Good morning, everyone. So happy to see you all here in the middle of summer. I'm sure wherever you are, you're, well, late end of summer, shall we say, but it just depends on where you are. Ah, well, it occurred to me that one of the aspects of sharing presence that we often hear from people is to do something different than what we're doing. So whatever it is you're doing, it needs to be different in order for you to have well-being or presence or so what I wanted to start with today, particularly with speed, because I had one of those mornings where I had my own version of the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, where cats needed things and gay needed things, and then cats wanted more things, and then cats wanted water, and and so that's why I just arrived here right on time, which I'm very pleased about. And it just occurred to me that what I'd like you to start with is just letting your body move a little bit more in the way it's been going just in this last period of time. So for me, it would be a little bit like, be just a little bit like, so go ahead and do it more rather than making yourself wrong for what you're doing, or thinking you should be doing something different. And particularly with speed, and then I'd like you to start getting a little speedier and then a little leisurely, a little more leisurely, getting a little speedier and then getting a little bit more leisurely. And notice what happens to your attention when you're playing with speed. Because my sense is that it's one of the most impactful um, dimensions that can affect our sense of presence. Mostly the world wants us to speed up and I have all of these different things, and that's part of the distraction technique. So if I'm fighting that, I'm actually creating more fear. So I love to do just a little bit more of and then kind of turn the volume up and turn the volume down, and then I can find what's my speed, what's my essence pace for right now in responding to something different that's going on in the environment. And so as I'm doing that and just playing with you, I'm finding my out breath getting a little bit longer. I can now feel myself in the chair, not sort of, slightly above the chair. And so that way of playing with, going with, and then making a shift has been so valuable for me over the years. It's one of the main things that I teach people, because almost always, and particularly if someone gives you attention, the attention is accompanied with there's something wrong with what you're doing. I'm giving you attention because you're doing something wrong, and I want you to do something different. So I'd like you to now incorporate in just shifting your attention from you to the other people on the call, and then back to you. And you can incorporate that also, that speediness. So you could go out there and back to here and out there and back to here. And I like to use my hands and my body so that I can really I'm going out here, but now I'm going back here, but oh, I'm not even landing here because I'm going back out here. And just play with that a little bit so that you can notice the relationship between how you move your attention and your breath and your speediness. So as I'm finding more of my essence pace of shifting my attention, I'm noticing actually more of the colors in the frames. I'm noticing more of the contrast. Your facial expressions are coming through more to me. I'm receiving them more. So as you're playing with shifting your attention, I'd like you to notice what opens up, what shifts for you as you're playing with that. Yeah, and what I'm also noticing is this, it's a kind of settling, but it's not a kind of, becoming a lump. It's really a kind of a a gentle exhale that gives me more space. And I'm also noticing I'm tending now to go more, I'm including the sides of me rather than just forward, backward in what in movement we call the sagittal plane. This is the going and doing plane that most people are in all the time. But as I'm playing with speed, I'm noticing more of my own spiral opening up, more of my sides opening up. So is this a way also to presence yourself with what's going on right now, not with what should be going on or what you think should be going on or what other people who are more enlightened have going on, but what's just going on right now and how you can play with that. So as you're doing that and you're shifting your attention, let your attention, when it comes back to you, start shifting to more places in your body, just saying hello with your attention, and then start including the space beyond the screen, maybe to the space that you're in right now, and just letting your attention go out. And as I'm doing that, I'm noticing that one of our pictures in here still has the earthquake skew, which I'm realizing was just over a week ago, which just seems like it was, forever ago that we had this major earthquake here. It was not a major earthquake. That was an exaggeration. It just felt major to me because it was right in my lap. So that is also like people will say, well, calm down. And, like when there's an emergency, people will say, just breathe. But if you don't match what's going on, there's really no way to have the support of somebody else's attention because you just keep spiraling out. So even when someone says just breathe, I will start breathing and matching their breathing, and then I start slowing my breathing down. So I'm adding in my loop of awareness as support for both of us, so I don't get caught up in there and lose myself. It's one of the main benefits of loop of awareness is it opens your presence and opens your whole body intelligence. So now even though I came charging in here, I now feel just much more dynamic. So I've been able to gather the aliveness of all of that and have that be fueling my creativity rather than just my So for your loop of awareness, I really want to invite you to focus this week on the speed, the actual speed, and playing with turning the volume up and turning the volume down according to what you're experiencing right now, until you find, how will you know you have found the friendly speed? So that's a great question to ask yourself. And what comes to me is that I experience more dimensions. I experience more choice. I experience being able to choose rather than being driven. So those are some of the things for me, but I think it would be really fun for you to know, well, how do I know how do I know I'm present? So for me, the number one indicator is that I experience more choice. Now, I may not experience like feeling really, zenish or, chill, but I experience choice in whatever is going on. So I think we spend a lot of our time arguing with what's going on, like this should not be happening, and try telling that to an earthquake. This should not be happening. So life is going to keep coming at you. And, my sense is now life is coming at us with all kinds of unexpected. And so for me, one of the best ways of meeting the unexpected is letting my body do what it wants to do, and reacting to it. And then as I'm giving my attention, I get more presence, more choice. And I love how some of you are continuing to do that. The more you add your body, the more choice you're going to have. Now, the other thing that was occurring to me as I was either waking up or going to sleep last night was that when I ask people to reach out for love scoops and to let themselves come into uh, more of a sense of bringing love into them, I realize that when you reach out, you may not experience love around you. And so love scoops also includes creating a love pool, a love reservoir, something you can dip your feet into, something that you can let, spritz you. And so I'm wondering for you today, what are the qualities of love that let you know that you are being cared for? So for me, it's definitely touch. When I can touch myself or I feel touched by somebody else's attention, that awakens an experience of love for me. When I can experience somebody's gaze and let it in. So there's also my receiving. So let yourself just notice, are you a dry sponge today, or is there an ability for you have some juiciness there that you can kind of spread around? So if you have a dry sponge experience today, what around you could you be connecting to? Could you be visualizing? Could you be remembering that gives you a felt sense of being loved? One of my go tos that I love is sitting on a porch swing, imagining sitting on one of those wonderful porch swings that just has the perfect kind of, of sway. It's just the right rhythm that I feel so totally supported, and that I have love just sitting next to me on the porch swing and being with. So the experience of being with for me is a felt experience of being loved. And so if you want to try that one on, it works really well for me. And it might be a starter for you if you haven't got your own, like imagining. So my porch swing is this beautiful shade of blue. And some porch swings you might have, they might be wicker, they might be white, but what's the color of your porch swing? And mine is this very solid wood, that when I sit on it, I feel supported. I can let go my weight into it. And then I let myself experience having presence be with me, having love be with me. It might be a feeling that I'm having that I want to include, and I can have that be sitting with me. So invite, what would you like to have be sitting next to you on the porch swing? And then just give yourself a minute to enjoy that feeling of, here I am, love is all around me, I can experience that. And then let yourself take that into just a couple of love scoops. You can scoop that up and let it shower over you. You can scoop it up from the floor and let that. And you might want to let it get a little more active. You can put it together with your loop of awareness. So you've got love scoops and then letting that circulate back and forth. So as I'm just taking a moment, and I want to invite you to just take a moment to notice what the practice today has opened up for you. So one thing I feel is more flow, and I feel the warmth of that flow through my body. I feel a kind of a little giggle. There's just a tiny little giggle that's sort of in my diaphragm and coming up through my ribs. And so just notice the symptoms of aliveness, and that you can recreate those and expand those simply by doing the love scoops and by letting yourself play with shifting your attention back and forth. So That was fun. Thank you. I'm going to now turn to our Presence Connect play for today and see what we come up with. And for those of you who are not familiar, we have this wonderful free app called Presence Connect Play. And I find it a source of aliveness and a source of really creating a new structure in the world. So when I presence, I get here, when I connect, I'm able to give and receive nourishment. And then from that connection, I'm able to collaborate, to create new choices, new ways of playing. So, presence says, explore the four pillars of integrity. And for those of you who know, we have an integrity deck, which gives you a way to play with integrity, which one of the things I love the definition that I found of integrity, which is an unbroken wholeness or totality with nothing lacking. And I just love that that integrity is about creating and sustaining your experience of wholeness. And so the four pillars, the one that's occurring to me today is to appreciate the one. That's one of the four pillars. And I'd like you to just take a moment to appreciate yourself for the ways in which you've already loved and presenced yourself today. And there are a whole bunch more of pillars that you can explore on the website. And connect is open posture. So how often, particularly through the day, I find particularly my computer closing comes in. I don't spend much time on my computer, but you don't need to in order to kind of activate the habit of kind of, turning your shoulders in, which actually closes off both your breath and also your heart. So find particularly ways that you can open your chest and then opening your belly. So when you're opening your belly, that allows you to experience your full breath, but it also allows any feelings of fear to move through. So open posture also lets the universe know that you're open. You're open for delivery. You're open for receiving. So an open posture tells, okay, I'm ready for connection. And then you get that connection of nourishment, which is so delicious. And we're getting more and more studies coming out right now about how the way that we give and receive attention, even with strangers, makes a difference. I'm reading through an article right now that I'm going to be posting, which really has to do with when you give your attention to somebody, like in the grocery store, you're someone you're passing on the street, it makes a difference to their nervous system and to your nervous system. And so we're getting some more science on that, which is really wonderful. And then play, which I love. I just pushed this one. I didn't make this one happen. Play is match and make bigger. So that's what we did at the very beginning of the call, which is match the speed and make that bigger before making a shift. And I find that just incredibly valuable because it affirms that what I'm doing is just the right thing for me to be doing, that I don't have to be doing anything different to feel lovable, to feel included, to feel part of what's going on in the world. So I love having the combination of our loops and scoops and then presence, connect, play, because it gives us a way to take that into action during the rest of the week. So thank you so much for showing up, for being here. Mwah. Love to see you all. And I'm going to take my leave now, and you're welcome to stay and have big talk and more wiggling and oozing. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.
Bye, Katie.